Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, summoners of all ages, welcome to the GXPC Season 4, Week 8, a rescheduled match between White Lotus and Schism Esports. It's been a second or two since I've seen you guys, and I'm glad to be here. My name is Hickory, and sitting next to me for the first time ever is Mr. Cinco Gazer of the Purple Cobras. How you doing, Cinco?
Pretty good. Looking forward to casting with a living legend here, so I'm going to get into picking bands, so let's see what turns out for these two teams.
You know, I'm sure our producer, Nick, likes to be called a living legend, but I really think that's a little bit too much of a props to give for him. After all, he is only just starting a stream. But on the side of White Lotus, we do have the Shen ban, Isaiah coming out from the side of Schism. I do want to mention really quickly that, unfortunately, due to delays, Schism is going to lose one ban. Just because of delays. Otherwise, we're all good to go. Is there anything you want to see out of either of these teams, particularly in the bans?
Well, I think that I would like to see the Scion ban come from White Lotus. Mav has consistently been a threat on that champion when he gets it, and I'm pretty sure that he only plays tanks, and as Scion is basically the strongest tank in the game right now. I would like to see that banned away, unless, of course, White Lotus has the intention of first picking it here.
Okay, so I'm going to go off on my amazing game knowledge and say that I've been seeing an incredible amount of Urgot. How does Urgot go into Scion?
So it's pretty Urgot-sided in lane, but once Scion really has like that second or third point in shield somewhere around level 9, level 10, really he starts to pretty much ignore all the harass, and at that point it shifts into the team fight phase, and you aren't really looking at specific lane matchups anymore. So Urgot has the advantage early game, but I don't think it's super backbreaking for Scion. He just doesn't really care about anything.
The reason I ask is that I could see someone like Freshburger pulling out an Urgot, and if you're hinting towards a Scion main in Maverick, maybe you can kind of coax him into that. Like don't use the ban if you know what's going on, but. We'll see what it is. And do not... Oh, look at that. I'm on point today, boys. Who cares about a week off? By the way, folks, while I get my predictions in, you should get your own predictions in by voting on the GXPC Twitch page. Get your votes in with the contest. See who is going to win or who you believe is going to win. Get your votes in. Win the points for some potential payout that I'm not sure what it is. We're both 1-for-1 right now with the Scion. And what comes next?
So Bestern is typically played, I believe Gragas is his most played champion in series. I would be okay with him picking that here. It's pretty standard, it's a strong early game jungler, has late game utility. They're going to pick their AD carry, though. I'm okay with that, too. That's fine.
Seems like a pretty early pickup. I don't know. But the Jhin has been locked in second.
Yeah, Ethereal, or White Lotus Etheric, has been known to play some Jhin, so perhaps they want to take that pick away from him. I would personally be more scared of his Lucian, though. I think he plays very, very good Lucian, so...
I have seen some demonstrable Lucian from Etheric, as it is going to be picked up as second in return of the Jhin pick. Does he get his support here with this? I've been seeing a lot of Braum. Oh, I was too slow. I said it much too slow, but yeah, the Braum does come in. And so we have the top laners and both bot sides as the Soraka is picked up for backpack. So then we need to look at some mid lane and jungle bans from both teams. Anything in particular that comes to mind from White Lotus?
They might ban the Gragas just because it's been Bestron's comfort pick. Alternatively, as we know, Laxon is mid lane, and that is not typically his normal position. They might ban, I believe he plays Vygar mid. I'm not really sure. So for clarification for our audience, we do have SKZ, or Schism Esports, is using two off roles. Their regular mid laner, Stevenator, is the AD carry for this match, and Laxon is in the mid lane position. So
yes, I actually thought that they were going to do it the opposite way around when I heard the switch, but I am not the captain, I'm not the coach, and nor should I be. So we're going to have Lax in the mid, and the double assassin or mage assassin ban coming out of Schism, all in the mid lane. So far, a jungle ban from the side of White Lotus. Do they double jungle ban? Just match it up. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the SKZ bans here. Fuji is an absolute terror on both of those champions, so taking them away definitely lowers his carry potential. He may default to the Diana here. I know that he does play Diana, and I think it would be pretty good into the fairly squishy bot lane of SKZ. So we'll see.
Doesn't Fuji play LeBlanc as well?
Oh, I'm not sure if I've seen him play LeBlanc, but he might.
Okay.
In that case, that would also be very good into that team.
I could be thinking of someone completely different. But I thought I had seen him play LeBlanc. A Camille pickup for Disgrace. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, actually, Urgot can go mid, and Camille can go top, and Lucian can go mid. But probably the jungle Camille coming out of Disgrace, which means it'll be a blind pick mid laner for the side of Fuji. You mentioned that his more signature Katarina and Akali is going to be out, and he's going to pick up an Orianna. Just kind of calm control mage. Hold things down in the mid lane. I like that as a blind pick a lot.
Yeah, totally respectable. It combos really well with the Camille as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Put a nice little hat on the fine little lady, and she'll dive in. She's a very proper lady, you see. She doesn't wear a sombrero because that's very much for relaxing. She wears like a derby hat because, she's a very high-class lady. But the Swain's going to be picked up for Lax, and you mentioned that he likes the Veigar a lot, but it was banned as the last ban coming out of White Lotus. Who knows if that last ban will be there to bite them in the butt. But as we get a little bit better idea of these team compositions, how are you feeling about the actual series itself? It's best of 3, but is it a 2-0? Is it a 2-1? Is it a 1-2? How do you think things are going to look this way?
Normally I would, so if this was, the base rosters that both teams use, i.e. Kairos was here on the side of White Lotus and Carmony was here on the side of, Schism, I'd probably give it to, White Lotus 2-1. But I think it's pretty much anyone's game now with this, the sub jungler and the role swapping on the side of, SKZ. So I can't really give you an accurate prediction. If I had to say something, I'd say Schism wins 2-1, maybe.
Schism wins 2-1. Well, I'm glad you did say something because you did have to say something. So you came up with 2-1 for Schism, correct?
Yes, that's what I said.
Okie dokie, you heard it from the desk. It's going to be a win for Schism, but what do you guys think? Don't forget to vote. Tell us what you think, who you're going to win. We do have a metric to know how many of you have voted for whom. It's very interesting to see what the fan vote is. But really, really quickly, can you give me a win condition of either one of these teams?
Well, it's probably late game scaling on the side of White Lotus. You can see that they've got the Camille and the Urgot and the Orianna. The same could kind of be said on the side of SKZ as well with the Jhin, Swain, Sion. It's really just, these are team fight comps, so we're going to see hopefully a lot of 5v5s, preferably in the mid lane, nice, clean, even territory.
Is there any, look, I guess what I'm curious, is there any kind of points of contention to you? You mentioned a lot of a late game scaling, but I'm seeing Lucian. Can that be potentially be an issue when you think of Stevenator's Jhin, 40 minutes of the game?
It definitely presents a problem. Lucian obviously falls off, not exceptionally hard late game, but he's certainly not as good as Jhin. I would say if I had to give like a hard timer for when White Lotus has to win the game, it would probably be somewhere around the 40-minute mark.
That's quite a bit longer than I actually expected. That gives them a lot more time. We're gonna have to see how it goes as time ticks down towards our first game. Thank you all for joining us for the draft phase. Do not touch that browser. We will see you after a word from our sponsors.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate GXPC in Decorah, Iowa. GXPC is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The GameXP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
And folks, we are returning from our new and improved ad break to the first game between White Lotus and SKZ Esports. This, what's it called? A rescheduled match here between the two, as we have a 5-man group from White Lotus. How do you feel about this, Cinco? Do you think a First Blood spying?
I think that's definitely a possibility. Sion likes to set up in this top bush to try and get a cheeky trade on.
And I see a Brum. And I see a Maverick face tracking into 5 people. First blood for Fuji. Easily picked up. The zombie is going after Etheric. Actually does quite a lot of damage to him. I think he does get away. Nice first blood picked up for Fuji. Feels good, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe SKZ had watched any of the previous White Lotus games. So this is something that they like to do quite often. So I feel like... Not a great start for SKZ. They might be a little off their game tonight.
Do you not expect a level 1 invade with Braum anyway?
You pretty much should. So
okay. I'm just saying, man. You know, I'm not the player. I'm not the pro. I'm just a gentle observer. At any rate, Disgrace is going to be starting
pretty typical starts here. I don't know how much I really like the blue start from Camille here, especially because I would want to be ganking the Urgot lane at level 3.
And Maverick did see it pretty easily. He kind of snuffed it out, actually very easily as he dropped the ward, but doesn't tell Bistrin that to go for the opposing red buff, even though they do have wards on it. Do you think you probably should have invaded? Is that why Disgrace is chilling on Grub?
Yeah, I would. If I was Bistrin here, I definitely would have went and positioned myself the enemy red buff. You can see that White Lotus did kind of predict that. They do have a ward down at the red buff. But I think it probably would have been worth to contest. Gragas level 2 is pretty strong if you have EW. So I think that they probably could have fought it. Maybe not with the early game Braum, but it was probably worth contesting. So
well, we'll have to see how it goes. I kind of feel like Disgrace is not going there just because he thinks he's not going to get it. He did go ahead and get to the top lane, or top side of the map, Scuttle Crab, and he's going to path down as well. A little bit of trading in the bot lane. Etheric getting poked out by these bouncing grenades a little bit more than they probably would like to. It is, of course, a double range versus a range melee composition with a healer as well. But
I think we're probably going to see Disgrace focus around the bot side this game. As people know, Etheric is a very, very solid bot laner, and Daydreams is probably one of the better supports in the league. So playing around this bot lane is really a big win condition if they want to end before the Sion, Jhin, and Swain start to really become these mid to late game terrors.
Well, as you said, Fuji is making his way into the bot lane. He's sitting in the bush. He hasn't decided what he's going to do just yet. He might have been warded out, and actually is going to get collapsed on here by 3 members. And a flash from Fuji actually gets a kill pretty easy in the top lane. Do not see a hook shot yet coming out of Disgrace. He's forced to flash away. A flash forward from Stevenator, but he doesn't pick up a kill. He doesn't have enough damage. His backpack actually somehow picks up I think it was an auto attack randomly. Not the right place for the gold. But it was 1 kill, traded back for the side of Schism after their mid laner did get flashed on by Fuji.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did see Laxon go down in the mid lane. It really sucks because Orianna isn't a lane that has a lot of kill pressure, especially now on something like Swain, who is just about, if not a little bit shorter range. So it does not bode well for them that Laxon was not first blooded, but
not boding well for Maverick either. As he gets ignited, he's probably going to go down here. I don't think there's enough left. As one more tick, Freshburger picks up his first solo kill of the game. This 1 kill for Freshburger, 2 kills for Fuji in the mid lane. Things not going too well for the top side of the map, especially the scaling sides of the map of Schism. But they are keeping Etheric down for the time being. Maybe they can keep things going good with Stevenator, as he does hit a root on to Daydream, so I don't think much more is going to be coming. Actually, a TP back from Mavic trying to trade into Freshburger. He does stun him. He might have a little bit more damage, but he just isn't going to be able to get... I don't think. He screams at him. He smacks him. He knocks him up, and a flash away from Freshburger does keep him alive.
Yeah, you could see Mav really misplayed there on that death. Unfortunately, he really didn't have any respect for the range of the Urgot E. If you want to harass Urgot as Sion, you have to really stand at the outer edges of his range. You can't really just kind of have that disrespect BM walk up in his face and charge your Q sort of play style.
You can't have the disdain for Urgot?
No, you cannot.
Flash forward away from Laxon to get the never move onto Fuji. A lot of damage going down, but not kill yet. Hook shot, but it's only level 3 Disgrace trying to trade back into this. But actually he's able to push things off. Oh, but here comes Stevenator, a great roam. Oh, but wow, things are turning around really rapidly. As a shockwave from Fuji. I did not realize Fuji at level 6. He must have hit it from that ward right there. As Etheric and Daydreams have returned, the hook shot onto Stevenator might be enough as Disgrace picks up an extra kill. The never move is not going to be enough just yet. And a 0-2-0-2 bot lane is feeling pretty good, but Maverick is unstoppable. He's jumping onto Fuji. That's a 4v3. I'm not sure if this is the right decision. Hookshot onto Bestring does get him a kill for Fuji. Fuji is already 3-0. Left backpack out to dry, They don't get the stun. Everyone does walk away. Questionable ult from Maverick as Fuji walks away 3-0 with an extra kill. Fear Beyond Death, not enough from Freshburger. He wanted it, but he didn't get it.
Yeah, I think questionable is the name of the game here. I'm not really sure what SKZ are thinking with these plays, but it's just not very good, I would say. They're getting punished on basically all fronts, and it's really doesn't bode well for the rest of the series. I mean, if missing their 80 carry shakes them up this much, you know. Oof.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like missing one person should turn your calls off that much. But obviously, I don't know who their primary shot caller is. I don't know how they deal with things. It could be that their ADC is their shot caller, and sans him, the comms might not be as complete. It seemed like kind of a lost fight, but just kind of an over fight until we saw the kind of continuation there. Speaking of fights, that gives Freshburger another kill, another assist. He's able to just kind of bully this lane even further with the unfortunately 0-2 Maverick, who's been the kind of feels bad man for the team as he just gets bullied around over and over again. And I'm not seeing a lot of bullying, speaking of, onto the star ADC Aetheric.
Yeah, well, of course the Braum Lucian is, the sort of hyper-aggressive, very hard to kill in the early game bot lane. I really question the Soraka pick. It doesn't really do anything for Jhin, especially not versus the Camille, and it's certainly not versus the Braum Lucian lane. Braum Lucian are going to kill you. They're going to kill you, and Soraka's not going to be able to stop them. So
you don't think she has enough burst healing to get past the burst damage?
No, and a lot of that is simply because to really kill Jhin, they have to kill Soraka first, and there really isn't anything that's stopping them from killing Soraka. They don't have an exhaust for the Lucian damage. I think that exhaust is infinitely better than barrier.
Yeah,
especially versus
I didn't even
Lucian.
notice barrier, actually. Interesting mention. Disgrace is sitting in the top lane. He's ready for a hook shot, but he does not have the Hextech ultimatum. He hook shots on, double stun onto Maverick, unstoppable, and he Tokyo drifts his way to the mid lane. But right in the face of Fuji, who does have a shockwave up, but he's still going. He's gone. He's out of there. And that leaves Fuji out to dry, a shockwave to disengage, plus his flash. Got a little bit hyphy there, but everyone walks away.
Yeah, interesting series of events. I wasn't a huge fan of that gank setup in the first place. I really don't think there was any point in ganking that lane without Camille level 6. You're never going to kill Sion in that matchup. It is kind of important that they force him out and let Freshburger have a chance to back, though, because Sion is just going to sustain through all of Freshburger's harass, as Freshburger only currently has 2 ruby crystals and a longsword, and he's sitting on a sizable amount of gold.
Well, has he backed since the first time he got teleported on?
I do not believe so, no.
So he walked from his back to the dragon for that fight, walked back up, and still hasn't backed. Interesting. But hookshot onto Bester and trading out. Not a very tanky fat man as the Hextech ultimatum for Disgrace gets rid of him. I meant to say Gragas there. Another kill picked up for the very scary Camille. 2-1-2 already. 4 out of the 6 kill participation for this jungler. You said it was a sub jungler? Feels pretty good to me, man.
Yeah, it is feeling pretty good. I would like to make an observation, of course, that Besterin chose to go with the Aftershock Gragas instead of the Predator Gragas. Very mixed feelings on that. The Aftershock really isn't doing anything for him. He's so squishy. We are going to see some dragon shenanigans.
Yeah, the Ascended Demon of Laxon trying to get this Drake, but there's a smite there to pick him up. He's stunned, double stun, taken out. Stevenator is able to pick up an extra kill in the return, but I'm not sure they can keep going. Actually, Theoric goes forward. He's solo 1v2. Deadly First does miss from Stevenator. Stevenator picks up the 4-shot shutdown onto Disgrace. A great shockwave to disengage, but it might be another kill going to Stevenator's way. That's a double kill for him. Triple kill, actually, in the extended fight. 3-4-0, basically, and maybe a Forcio Deflers misses once more, but he should be able to pick that up. Maverick actually decides that it's not. He's gotten enough. Maverick's taken enough bullying. He gets a kill for himself on the board. That was a 4-for-1 trade and the dragon. Is that worth, my friend?
I'm going to put that solidly in SKZ's hands of worth. Ooh.
Well, the play might be continuing just a little bit. Daydreams is surprisingly slippery as a Braum, and does seem to get out of there. But he's staying around still, trying to maybe soak up some experience or something. I'm not really certain what the plan is. With no teleports coming in, no roams coming in, he's just trying to get that juicy support experience. The first turret blood does go down to the 5-man stack of Schism. No traded gold to anyone.
Brick for SKZ, but White Lotus is going to respond with a Herald take. Altogether, I think this is still in the favor of SKZ, despite losing the Infernal Drake, and they're going to lose the Herald as well. They did get 1,200 gold worth of shutdown kills onto Stevenator, which is going to be very important if they want to stay in this game in any meaningful way.
Which, as my young and definitely not British producer could quickly switch to the gold graph, we can see a lot of gold has been injected into Stevenator, who has a pretty sizable advantage over his lane opponent, Etheric, and actually basically the entirety of the lead, and then some, is on Stevenator specifically versus Etheric. Definitely a target for the side of White Lotus, but a strong point for Schism just yet. Where do you think this Rift Herald is going to be going here in the next moment or two?
Likely mid lane. I think that's really where I want to see it. Laxon's exceptionally weak right now and is exceptionally dive prone as well. He does not have a stopwatch.
Well, also weak is a Soraka as Backpack tries to get away. The Glacial Fisher does go out, knock back, knock up, knock back, knock up again. Fuji picks up his 4th kill of the game as 4 men collapse on him, and the Rift Herald is going to go, but that's a... Oh, no! I was just about to say the Gragas is standing right there. Explosive Cast gets rid of the Rift Herald. That is the replacement jungler feels for you that we've been looking for so far. Turns out to be just 1 kill when it probably should have been a turret as well.
Yeah, pretty unlucky on the side of White Lotus. Just poor decision-making from Disgrace. I really should have backed off out of Gragas' sight range. It's fairly obvious that he had ult up still and that he was just going to chuck it at him.
He could have even flashed belly bot, but there was a lot of things that could have happened. And actually a fight might be breaking out here. Side of Schism does not want to give up this mid turret, but I think White Lotus is recognizing their lot in life that they cannot get their first turret of the game just yet.
Yeah, I think that they're likely going to have to back off from reset here. It's possible that they stay and try and pressure the tower again.
Never move on to Fresh Burger. He's pretty stanky, though. Wow, they're really trying to trade for this tower. Do you think it's worth it at all?
I think there's some merit to it, but I would really want to see them respond to Stevenator here in the top lane. It looks like they are going to, which I think is the smart play. They can't really force the tower that well because of Scion swaying wave clear, and they just don't have the resources to dive right now either. So I think backing off here and just clearing the side waves is the right play.
Yeah, there's been a lot of brawling, but as you mentioned with resources, it's only 14 minutes into the game. Diving is not necessarily the name of the game just yet, unless you're pulling it off absolutely perfectly. It's still very, very early into this game. Still plenty of time. You said you were waiting for 40 minutes for Schism, correct?
I said that if White Lotus really wants to win, they're going to have to end it before the 40-minute mark. I think that's when the scaling is going to be a little bit out of control on the side of SKZ. That being said, you know, they had a pretty convincing early game. A lot of really great shockwaves came out from Fuji. I think that this could probably go down at around the 30-minute mark for White Lotus if they kind of get their act together. They really wasted a couple minutes there in the mid lane, not really doing anything.
Well, so, I was gonna wonder if you had rescinded your comment a little bit as a 4-1-3 Fuji bullies in the mid lane. Hits the shockwave, flash away from Lax and keep himself alive, but he still might die as a flash forward from Fuji does pick him up. But the no death Soraka backpack might be stunned up and killed here. Daydreams picks up the kill with the ignite. The culling misses almost entirely. No dive coming out of the bot lane duo from White Lotus, but they do pick up a kill as a non-stoppable, stoppable Maverick does get Hex Tech ultimatum and knocked back away from his tower. He might be able to kill here, but the Fear Beyond Death throws him over the wall and gets another kill for Fresh Burger. 2-0-2 on the Urgot all of a sudden. Several kills across the map and mid-turret down for White Lotus. Things picking up very rapidly for them with a 2K gold lead.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is really just what happens when you pick losing lanes. I mean, SKZ really set themselves up for this loss, unfortunately.
Do you think this is a draft issue?
Yeah, definitely. I really hate the Soraka pick. I think that it serves absolutely no purpose in their team comp. And it's really just Braum bait. I mean, anytime Braum lands a Q on Soraka, she's pretty much just dead in lane.
Well,
I'm
see
actually
if
surprised.
Soraka can get a kill here as she baits with her life. Flash belly bot, perhaps? No, nothing's happening. I want to see Soraka do so. That was actually a nice flash bait. I really want to see Soraka get like a triple kill now that you've been like hating on her, because I think that'd just be hilarious. But yeah, they did unfortunately let the Urgot get away, but they get the flash out of Disgrace. But most of the team of White Lotus is trying to get this Mountain Drake, excuse me, that's Schism on the Mountain Drake. My apologies, I shouldn't be looking at a minimap, I should be looking at the game itself. Vestron is able to pick up a return Drake for the side of Schism. Never Move does hit onto Daydreams. He's not really that tanky. A 4-shot out of Stevenator does not get him, unfortunately, as Fuji picks up another tower in the top lane. He does not care about this stack in the mid lane. He trusts the rest of his team to clear the wave out and not lose too hard. Give up a tower for a turret, or excuse me, a Mountain Drake for a turret. That's okay, I guess.
That's all right. I think that SKZ made actually a very fatal mistake right there in not pressuring in the mid lane. We saw that Fuji, who is, I mean, really essentially all of White Lotus's teamfight presence right now, except for, I mean, Freshburger is doing well, but he's still, he can't really get onto Jhin in any meaningful way. I think that sieging the mid lane right there when there was 4 of them was 100% the correct play, especially because Ethereal was low on mana at the time, and Freshberg had not used his clarity to restore his mana. So I think that just a lot of little mistakes on the side of SKZ adding up. But I would say the biggest contributor to sort of the White Lotus lead right now is definitely the draft phase still.
See, now you got me thinking about stupid stuff like Soraka with Warmox. Because that is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. That's better than
she's going to need something like that if she wants to not get instant every time she gets Braum passive, so...
Oh, it's okay. Man. She hasn't died just yet. So, Fuji hits a shockwave onto Backpack. Gets the second kill on the Backpack of the game. I forgot he had actually died once, but I was just about to say that Backpack had not died just yet. But Fuji is a very, very strong boy right now. 6-1-3 on this fairly scaling, very comfortable control mage, but he does get Never Move, but it might have been a mistake as Etheric just pops Laxon even through the ultimate. They're diving on to Bester, and Bester's not taking enough to sit here just yet. Trade of the turret damage, but not enough as Maverick gets a shut down. Does Backpack get the return kill? She gives up the hope. He tries to get some healing for his team as Disgrace goes back in. Disgrace actually does die there. Maybe a bit of a mistake coming out. Double kill again from Stevenator. Stevenator really cleaning up these fights later into them. Let's see if he gets his Deadly Flourish off to slow down. Daydreams doesn't even need it. He just walks him down for a triple kill. Once again, Stevenator comes to clean up a fight that was looking awful for his team.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are going to lose another tower from Freshburger here. Good fight on the side of SKZ, but they're just, it's sort of like the slow hemorrhaging, right? Every time they group up to get one of these really good fights, get a lot of gold on Stevenator, they just lose another tower. They're just bleeding out slowly. It's a little painful to watch.
Yeah, once again, there's a 3,000 gold lead for the side of White Lotus, but there's a 3,000 gold lead for the side of Stevenator. So when you kind of do some quick maths, that's actually a 6,000 gold lead deficit, or gold deficit for the entire side of Schism, as 3,000 gold is sitting on Schism himself, meaning that Laxon, Bester, Maverick, and Backpack are way behind their opponents. And Stevenator is going to have to be the main, primary, and exclusive carry to get them through game 1. But it is game 1. You know, it doesn't mean that everything's all ogre if you drop the first game.
Yeah, there's definitely still hope for SKZ. and they still could end up winning this game. I don't know. It's just, I feel like the Soraka pick, you can already see in White Lotus's itemization how useless the Soraka is going to be. Lucian already has Executioner's Calling. Oriana's already working towards her Morellonomicon.
That is a bopped up and down Urgot, but Freshburger makes his way out, surprisingly. I am interested by the Executioner's Calling, basically second pickup by Aetheric. You're right, that does not feel good. But I feel like it's also for Laxon and Bestern as well, than just Backpack. But a major portion of Backpack's kit basically nullified by that small, 800 gold item?
Yes, it is an 800 gold pickup. 800 gold to totally have the effectiveness of your entire support champion.
Yes, remember, friends, in solo queue, when that Ravenous Hydra Fiora is messing with you, 800 gold to pick up a free kill onto Stevenator. Another one, 7, 1, and 3. That's basically enough gold that you need for Stevenator to get his own grievous wounds onto the opponents, even though he's not playing against the hyper healing. Wow, the Deadlift Flourish does hit. That was a ton of damage from the first shot from the Storm Razor proc and the Rapid Fire proc. I don't think he even really needs to go in for another shot. That was his first shot that did 50% of the health.
Yeah, Stevenator is pretty big right now.
Yeah, he's really, really scary. With almost 3 items completed, the third one's going to be an Infinity Edge for him. He's actually gotten ahead of Fuji at this point with the extra kills that he's been basically gifted towards the end of the team fights. But that is to say, that's not to say that he can't just be kind of one and done with a Hextech Ultimatum, Shockwave, Gliss Fisher.
Yeah, he definitely has quite a bit to watch out for. So we are going to see another Mountain Drake come up here soon, and definitely looks like there's going to be a fight over it.
Second Mountain Drake of the game. Bestron's sitting here pretty close, but he's too close as he gets deleted by Freshburger. Maverick tries to return, but the Shockwave in the back lane. There is Stevenator. He's trying to keep himself alive, but he's dove on by 2, by 3. He finally gets shut down by the likes of Aetheric. A lot of gold injected. A 3 for 0 for the side of White Lotus. They don't even care about the Mountain Drake. They're running straight to the Baron, and the gold lead between Aetheric and Stevenator has basically been nullified. Only about 1,000 gold now sitting with Stevenator in the lead because of that massive shutdown for him. A Baron buff coming in, probably going to be the rest of the gold lead between the two. And unfortunately, as we mentioned just moments before, Stevenator had so many things to get through that he just wasn't able to make it, with a soon-to-be about 7,000 gold lead sitting on the side of White Lotus, with 4 towers down, and a Baron buff and an Infernal Drake.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Bestron was exceptionally out of position. I guess he just wasn't paying attention. I can't really think of any reason why he would be at that spot at that time. But he got punished, and then his team, they picked up 4 more kills, and Laxon, who was the only person that wasn't there for that team fight, was the only one left alive.
Did they not have good vision of the Drake?
No, definitely not. I mean, it's unfortunate that the rest of SKZ died, but a lot of that can be put onto just poor positioning from Bestron. He got caught, and his team essentially had basically no choice but to go in.
Freshburger is behind the 5-man stack here. The Shockwave does pick up, flashes away, but in goes Disgrace, in goes Freshburger, in goes the Culling. Aetheric picks up another kill, 3rd kill of the game, and a team fight won, but no wave to push, actually, as their wave is way far in the bot lane. They're going to have to sack it, run mid. Probably could have picked up a tower there, unfortunately, but the Mountain Drake did go to the side of Schism before the team fight broke out.
Yeah, we did actually see the Urgot ult get countered by the Scion ult there. He cannot be CC'd while charging, which means he cannot be pulled in and executed. Kind of a funny little interaction, but I think this is basically the beginning of the end for SKZ here. They played a sort of admirable mid-game, but I'm not sure that they can come back from this deficit. It's almost like a 4v5, essentially, with how useless Backpack is right now.
That feels bad. as the top lane tier 3 is going to be sieged on, but Daydreams might have been caught out here. He does get a Flesher out. He tries to get away. He might actually make it as a Theoric and have turned in the Hextech ultimate in the back, but a massive shockwave coming out of Fuji. Double kill for Fuji. Potentially a double kill for a Theoric trying to pick up the triple kill, but it does go over to the side of Fuji. Triple kill and another kill. Dead sign on Lax and a perfect ace coming out of White Lotus with the Baron buff in the top lane. A large wave, 20 seconds left. This may well be the end. There's a few more seconds left on the hero backpack. 15 seconds on Laxon. They might not be able to end just yet. They're pretty low on the health bars. We'll see how far they do want to push it. Daydreams did back it out, and they actually are going to take a bit of a slower, safer path, going to the mid lane turret, getting the mid lane inhibitor as well. Unless backpack gets... Ooh, that is 70% of backpack's health. Oh, the Fear Beyond Death gets him from downtown! That was sick.
That feels bad, man. But really, again, just showing the absolute fragility and weakness of the Soraka pick.
QW and R from Freshburger.
It's just... You have to wonder why they would even think to pick Soraka into a team that already had Urgot, Lucian, Braum on it. Very much questioning SKZ's thinking right here, unfortunately. I definitely want to see them draft better in the second game, and I feel comfortable saying that. I believe this game is essentially all but written in at this point.
Yeah, it always feels uncomfortable saying that, especially, I don't know if you saw the Cloud9 game for Worlds the other day. Giving up is not an option when you can watch your enemy team throw a 45-minute game fight and you get a free win.
That is true, but I'm not feeling it from the side of SKZ. I think in solo queue the term is referred to as GG next.
Well, I mean, is it because Maverick's not playing Lissandra? I mean, what?
I just think they got outdrafted in basically every way. They really have a late game team comp, but we're not going to see late game this game. I don't even think we're going to see Maverick with 3 whole items. So
we are 28 minutes into the game. Maverick sitting still on 2.5, and actually Etheric gets a little bit too high there. The curtain is called on top of the side of White Lotus, but Steven Ayer does not feel like it's the right idea. Shoots one shot, gets out of there as super minions are crashing on the top side of the map. A very large wave, in fact, on the top side of the map, as White Lotus can just kind of slow push this for the time being. Maverick is not a tanky boy right now. This tower is basically forfeit from the side of Schism. They're going to have to back it up, see if they get a team fight out. As Disgrace wants to go in, he doesn't go for the flash, though. Steven Ayer steps forward. The shockwave does hit on to Maverick. This might be the final team fight. Maverick goes down to Fuji. Another kill. He is on a rampage. Freshburger has stepped up as far as he possibly can. There's no one that can really get past him, as the Fear Beyond Death picks up another kill. Once again, the Ascended Demon just does not have enough damage. Steven Ayer trying to pull things out, but he's downed by the likes of Etheric. Etheric picks up a double kill, and the team fight does go the side of White Lotus. Game 1 as well. GG's to Schism. Let's see them next game. Do you have a couple closing thoughts for the double victory screen for us?
Don't pick Soraka.
And if I were to not pick Soraka, what else might I?
We do know that Backpack plays quite a good Alistair. I'm surprised he didn't pick that. It combos pretty well with the Jhin. It's quite good against Urgot. I think that was the right pick there. The Soraka basically didn't do anything except for walk in and die. So I think that they definitely need to take a good look at their draft and just try and clean it up for game 2.
All right. Well, hopefully in game 2, a stronger draft will come out from the side of Schism. But for now, we're going to take a short break until we jump into our draft of game 2. Do not touch that browser. We'll see you in moments. Friends and family, welcome back to the GXPC, the players, the casters, the crew, for provisions, and it's time for game 2. A easy, seemingly strong pickup from White Lotus in game 1 to set us to a 1-0 right now. We said there was a lot of drafting possibilities that could turn around game 2. Particularly, I question you, good Cinco Gazer. Is it bans that need to be focused on?
I don't really even think it's that. I think it's just smarter picks. Again, very unfortunate that Schism has to play with this role swappy, sort of using their sub-support as their mid laners sort of thing. I do want to stress that, you know, this isn't Schism's official roster. They do have a sub. They do have a role swap. So it's a series of unfortunate events for them. But I do think a lot of game 1 can be chalked up to picks. I think picks and just general play. A lot of misplays on the side of Bestrin. A lot of misplays on the side of Backpack. I really just want to see a cleaner game from them, and that's going to start with this draft, this pick ban phase. I want to see an Urgot ban first phase if they plan on first picking the Scion. I want to see probably the Cat and Akali bans again. I don't want to see Etheric on Lucian again, but you know, they only have so many bans, so we'll see what they do with them.
Well, they have all their bans this game at the very least, which is one more than last game. But you're right, there's only so many things that you can ban out. I do want to mention really quickly that Stevenator is back in the mid lane. Backpack is in the ADC role, and Laxon will be filling out the support role. I'm not feeling a Backpack Soraka in the ADC role, but you never know. It is Season 8. There have been, honestly, crazier things in the bot lane. As a Xayah and a Aatrox, I said a lot of A's there, is going to be banned by the side of Schism. Morgana shed once again from White Lotus. So far, not a lot of change in these drafts.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the Aatrox is pretty impressive in lane, but I don't think it's nearly as Morgana ban. Oof. I don't think the Aatrox is as bad as the Urgot. I would have preferred an Urgot ban. It's unfortunate that I mean, I don't want to make a claim like this, but I've only seen Maverick play 3 champions in the entirety of this tournament, and all of them are tanks, and all of them are weak to Urgot. So, you know, I mean, putting 2 and 2 together, you would think that they would want to take the Urgot away. That is not the case, though. I want to see Scion first pick here. I don't think we're going to see it. We're going to see
Akali off the bat from Stevenator, blind as can be. Who cares about being blind when you have a very balanced W that makes you, the enemy, blind to your movements? There is the Urgot picked up for Fresh Burger, as you did mention. I guess technically, and possibly, this Akali can go to the top lane, but I feel like it's sitting pretty in the mid lane for Stevenator. Kaisa picked up for Etheric top and bot sides of the map, kind of up and down everywhere to go. Do not forget, folks, that there is 10 minutes left to bet on the winner of this series. Put them in before the time runs out, and you get a cookie. It's probably something else.
So we are going to see the Braum come out here for Backpack. I like it way more than the Soraka pick. If you couldn't tell, wasn't a fan of the Soraka pick first game, so I'm happy to see they're moving on from that.
It's a Braum for Laxon.
Darius. Well, you know, at least we'll get to see Maverick play something that isn't a tank. So.
Well, you were mentioning that he only plays 3 tanks, and I'm not sure that this tank knows any of those 3.
No. This is I believe this will be the first time he's played Darius in the tournament. Unfortunately, it had to be against an Urgot, which is not a good matchup for him. But, you know, we're seeing some adaptation. I like it.
Insert stats meme joke here. As the All-Stars picked up for the side of Daydreams, I think that's what you actually wanted to see from Backpack. previously, but we won't be seeing it from Backpack. Double kind of big boy team start or fight starting players in Braum and Alistar. I like the Alistar with the Kaisa. Seems pretty fun to me. The Gragas is banned out from White Lotus. Interesting choice. It didn't seem as massively impactful, but maybe they're thinking something a little bit different with that pick. You mentioned a Katarina ban once more. Does get picked up by Schism. They don't have to ban Akali, obviously, as they have her. Final ban from White Lotus is going to possibly be Lucian. Interesting.
All right.
I
So
guess
they don't want him to play the they don't want him to play the Lucian Braum into them. It's pretty good against Kaisa. Would probably tear her to shreds early game. So I like the Lucian ban. I don't even know if wait. It looks like Backpack is AD carry now.
Yes.
Laxon is support.
Yes,
so I'm not sure.
I mentioned that earlier.
Well, pardon me. I was I must have been caught up in something else, but I don't know what Backpack plays, if he plays AD carry at all. Interesting that they picked up the Braum for Laxon instead of the Morgana, which is sort of kind of his go-to staple champion, and it would have been really good against that team too.
Well, it would be hard to be picking it up with the first ban.
Yes. Well, it appears that I've just lost my ear and eyes tonight, so apologies to chat.
So, well, then, moving forward, is that a Taliyah jungle?
Definitely a possibility. She's pretty strong in the jungle and the mid lane right now. I'm not sure if Fuji plays Talia, but we'll see with this last pick, so...
I actually really, really like Taliyah jungle, so we'll have to see how it goes. Is a Maokai picked up in the jungle? Question mark from the Peanut Gallery, as the final pick for White Lotus is either going to be for Disgrace or Fuji. I'm betting on Fuji. Once again, Urgot can actually go mid, but it's going to be, in my opinion, LeBlanc. Karma. Well, it's a Karma. And a Taliyah mid, or jungle, is the way it is. Maokai jungle, I haven't seen since Worlds 2017. In fact, before Worlds 2017, actually. It was like
I actually
before that.
I actually think that both of Bestron's junglers are banned. I have not seen him play anything besides Skarner and Gragas, so this might just be his third comfort pick.
So, but like, okay, no, okay, all right. So,
I mean, look, your guess is as good as mine. This is my, this is just
what I'm most interested in is actually the Karma Akali lane. How does that work out?
Well, I don't play mid lane very much at all. All I know is that Akali is sort of an oppressively overpowered champion right now, and Karma's pretty squishy. So I think that there's definitely kill pressure, but I'm not sure how much, as Karma is still a safe champion. So we'll see. Overall, I'm going to give this to White Lotus. I think that SKZ just played very poorly last game, and I'm not sure if they can really muster up the morale with the whole lane swap sub situation going on to really pull a win out from under the number one team's feet.
Cinco Gazer, do you know who else is backing White Lotus?
Pretty much everybody else, I would imagine, if I had to take a guess.
The fan vote in particular is 93 whopping on the side of White Lotus. That's only a handful of votes going for the side of Schism. Many people backing them. Potentially a 2-0 coming here pretty late in the season. I mean, this is the eighth week reschedule, but it's the 9th week of the season. Really locking in these playoff spots here with these final few games. This is week 10, like I said. I was clearly paying attention as I was casting last week. I know you guys were all here. At any rate, we have a few more seconds. Do you think this is a 2-0 from White Lotus, and how and why?
Yes. SKZ unlucky. Rip my dude Carmony. Please come back.
Okay. Well, with that amazing Fantastic analysis. We're going to jump into game 2 in just a moment or two. I hope you enjoyed our first commercial break because we're going to hit you with the second one in just a moment. Do not touch that browser.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you know, possibly did not, that today is a special day for one of the production crew of the GXPC? I'm not worried about this 5-man invade because I'm worried about the fact that it's Hottie Williams' 29th birthday. The old man himself is damn near 3 decades old. Happy birthday, buddy. The GXPC welcomes you into our birthday crew. Don't feel bad. You're not the only one that is so damn old. All these 16-year-old kids, Theric, making us feel bad with their in-game skill and their younger looks on life. But the 5-man stack doesn't come out with anything from either side. I wanted to see Schism return things with the Braum pick, get a solo kill on Freshburger.
Yeah, I think that if they had like legitimately went for the invade there, I do believe that they win that level 1 fairly hard, actually, if for nothing else but because of the Braum. But we did see Bestrin start the saplings, so perhaps it is best that they did not.
Those saplings are giant, by the way, with that skin. Is what I'm noticing here.
Yeah, they also get bigger while they're in a brush as well. So
they're big little presents. That feels good. I like big presents. I like a lot of big things. And both junglers feeling pretty comfortable in the bot lane start. I think, is Bestron going straight for the wolves? It's actually a pretty interesting path. I'm going to have to keep our eye out on that as a bit of an earlier push coming out of Etheric and Daydreams.
Yeah,
that's actually... Ooh.
I think this is a winning matchup for White Lotus. I think that Kaisa is basically just better Vayne in essentially almost every way.
Yeah.
So
she even goes invisible.
Yeah, I mean, so you know, we'll see how this bot lane plays out, but
Headbutt Pulverize level 2 coming out of Daydreams, but actually Etheric kind of went for the trade on the backpack, probably looking for a little bit of the longer con there as opposed to a potential kill onto Lax. And no summoners used by either side, just a potion. Interesting to note that Etheric did go for the ring start and the double potion. Another Headbutt Pulverize coming out of Daydreams, 2 in a row, very comfortably popped out, but not the most follow-up, just kind of poking around, seeing for a dash in from Steven Enter. He's trying to trade onto Fuji. He does ignite Fuji, but I think it might be just a little bit early on that summoner spell, but might force Fuji into an early unwanted back. Freshburger does not get the knockback into the turret, but wow, he does so much damage at level 3. That's ridiculous. Maverick trying to return, and Freshburger actually forced to flash away. I'm not sure if he saw Bestron or not. There's going to be engagement from Disgrace in the mid lane. He does not see where Steven Air is just yet. Steven Air flashes over the flick back, and things calm down slightly at the top of the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm excuse me. I'm actually, whoa, Maverick, what are you doing? I'm actually surprised that Burger didn't have as much respect for the Darius passive as he should have, considering that he actually plays quite a bit of Darius in solo queue. So a little confusing on that one.
Another Headbutt Pulverize. This might be the first kill, potentially healed from backpack, flash from backpack, and an ignite from Daydreams. A 2-for-1 trade as Daydreams hit another 2-man Pulverize. Only 3 minutes into the game. I cannot wait to see a nice 5-man Pulverize and a free pentakill for our friend Etheric.
Yeah, you can...
Another flash!
So, unfortunately, all of this engaging that Daydreams has been doing has left him with absolutely no mana to use the headbutt after the Pulverize after the headbutt there.
Yeah,
so,
that's why you turn on your mana values on your bar.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do see him just waste flash for no reason there.
He's got Hextech Flash. He's just hanging out. He's just making sure that his presence is known in the bot lane. And a flash away from Fuji. Steven Arrow with a huge dash. That was across half of mid lane.
Fuji not really respecting the Akali damage here either.
Does he not play a lot of Akali?
I'm pretty sure he actually does, so I don't know, a little confusing from the side of White Lotus here, but you know, their bot lane is really smashing it, so...
Well, sometimes when you hard smash one game, you hard get smashed, and the next game is a surfing flip onto Fuji. Might be enough damage to shock the, Ignite is not enough for Fuji to return the kill. And both junglers are going to kind of disengage that fight. I think one of them or both of them are actually just a little bit too slow to maybe get an actual kill on either side.
Yeah, we're actually seeing Maverick heavily punish Freshburger on this this Urgot in the first few levels. Quite surprising, actually.
Ooh, that is a very, very low health backpack as a flash forward from Etheric does pick up first blood for him. He gets out of tower range. Ignite not going to be enough to take him out, I don't believe. First blood easily picked up for the already ahead hyper-scaling Kaisa. Feels very, very good for Etheric, but Bestron is looking his way, headbutt away from Daydreams, who needs the Pulverize when you're just trying to get him away. Who needs mana? Mana's dumb.
That's true. Really poor positioning by Backpack there. He is playing one of the shortest range AD carries in the game. Well, you know, it wouldn't be GXPC without one of these, so...
I have no idea what you're talking about. This is the first time I've ever seen a pause.
So, a little bit about that bot lane trade. You know, we did see Backpack step up way too far, way out of what was safe Really should have just turtled at tower, wait for the wave to come to him, last it under tower. It's pretty simple. I mean, I feel for the guy. AD carry is my worst role. I absolutely cannot play it. So, and I know how it feels to kind of get stomped on by people who are way better at the role than you are. So my heart goes out to you, Backpack. It really does.
Well, sometimes you have to step in and fill the britches of a missing comrade. And hopefully he'll be able to put... I feel like Stevenator did quite a successful job on the Gen last game. Interesting that they did swap him back to his main role. But we're out of the pause. We're back in. Things are getting rolling, specifically for Maverick in the top lane. Feeling pretty comfortable. He's not going to kill just yet, but this is probably the first time I've seen Freshburger with a noticeable CS deficit.
Yeah, Maverick is playing quite well in this area so far. I'm pretty impressed so far. I do want to see a lot of play around this mid lane, though. I think that getting Fuji out of the game and getting Stevenator ahead is the one big way that SKZ can really snowball this game out of control.
Well, I am kind of still interested about this Fuji Karma pick as a shuriken flip from Stevenator, drops him back in. He does have the Ignite, he does have the ultimate, and drops the Ignite as well as the ultimate. That should be a pretty easy kill picked up for Stevenator. He has Bestrin for assistance in case. But a nice solo kill out of the Akali, who you just said needs to get the ball rolling a little bit.
Yeah, really showing the strength of that champion right there. And Etheric, with sort of questionable gauge.
I'm not sure we're talking about questionable. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, unfortunately, Backpack made the decision to walk back past him instead of going through the tri-brush there.
That's okay. You don't need health. He's got fleet footwork anyway. He can heal back up. Actually, interesting that Etheric has fleet footwork as an apprehend on to Freshburger. Let's see if he is not disgraceful this time of the side of Freshburger of Maverick. Speaking of, where has disgrace been outside of that kind of level 3 look at the mid lane?
I'm not sure. Not super impressed with Italia so far, despite the fact that it is arguably one of the more overpowered junglers in the game right now. So, especially with how strong early game it is, I'm just expecting a little bit more.
He had some odder engages towards the end of last game, but he really stomped the first 15 or so minutes of the previous game. So I'm curious that he's not showing up this time. Shuriken Flip does miss for Stevenator. Probably not going to be much more damage coming out. Bestrin's really been looking mid. He really, really wants to get this Akali off to the races. Engagement in the bot lane as well, but that's two pretty tanky dudes just kind of whacking each other. I think they're okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bestrin had positioned himself back towards his tower and did not get the knockback. Oh.
Bestrin was also walking on a ward, but he still gets a twisted advance into the Daydreams, who is very, very tanky at this point. He still has his breakable will. Etheric turning a lot of damage back in. He does go for the ultimate. Gets knocked back away, instantly blown up. A little bit of a killer instinct of himself. Gets taken out as a 1-for-0 trade. Picked up by Laxon. A little bit hypey there.
Yeah, that seemed like an obvious bait to me. They should have known that the Vayne's heal was going to be up there, but the Etheric decided to commit anyway and does get punished for it.
Stevenator actually did use the perfect execution to get in range of Fuji. Not enough damage just yet coming out of him, and he's actually going to have to disengage. Fuji might be returning here just a little bit, not just yet. I was speaking of a little bit hypey. You're right, that it seems like Etheric had really gotten over the play pretty well. He did a lot of damage to all three of them, but then just kind of decided that there was more damage to be done as Maverick is under the tower. Oh, and Fear Beyond Death does not get him. I don't think he's got enough, low enough on damage. The Ignite drops down as well. He's not on the grinder just yet. The dunk isn't enough to kill him as Maverick does go down to White Lotus. Bestrin has been caught out here slightly a flash away, but no mana. The Siphon Shove is just barely enough mana. But a return kill from Stevenator as he Shuriken flips in. I'm not sure he's got another one. He does not have his ultimate, but he does have his Ignite. He might want to go for it. Return 1-for-1 kill in the mid lane, but 1 kill going over the side of Stevenator, and 1 kill going to the side to Freshburger in the top lane.
Yeah, now I do. Maverick obviously misplayed there. He took a tower shot.
Oh, there is the shuriken flip into Disgrace, and a pickup kill, didn't he? Yeah, it did burn Ignite that time. 2 kills turned on to the side of Stevenator in the extended play, but he's stunned, he's ignited. Is a cow about to kill a Kali? He is! Very well done by Daydreams. Gets the shutdown gold. Doesn't go on to the side of Etheric. Might actually have left Etheric out a little bit out of the way. The Killer Instinct to kind of disengage a little bit. Very well used. You can actually determine where you go on the side of the enemy player with your ultimate.
So yeah, as I said, Maverick does misplay in the top lane, has to flash away from the Fear Beyond Death. Gets punished pretty heavily by the Summoner spell swap. Now, when I look at Maverick's build, right, I see that he has Phage and the Mana Crystal. And now, what that leads me to believe, after
I also see a Seismic Shove in the bot lane, and no Killer Instinct. Etheric might just walk into Backpack, and he flashes forward to get the final auto attack on him. Stun down. Might be enough of a stun for Laxton to get out of there. But I'm sorry, you were mentioning the build orders.
Yeah, I just like to talk about itemization a lot. You know, after Maverick dies here again, unfortunately.
Well, Maverick is going to get engaged up by 2. The Seismic Shove does barely hit him. He might not be able to get a return kill here with the dunk from Maverick, but the Fear Beyond Death is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. He does pick up a kill there. Better than it definitely could have been.
Yeah, so hopefully I have a minute to talk now. Alright, looks like I'm in the clear. So, you can see that Maverick is going for this Trinity Force build on Darius.
You say you're in the clear.
Yes, I say I'm in the clear,
and I think you are as well.
Decides that he just wants to go and dive mid lane. Anyway, so he's going for this Trinity Force build. It's very weak. I don't like it. I think it's especially bad against Urgot. You really want that Black Cleaver to reduce all the armor that he is inevitably going to build against your team as you have Darius and Vayne. And I think that the Trinity Force is just not the way to go. Also, Bestron is about to get punished very hard here.
Well, Bestron does get Seismic shoved away, but that's a pretty tanky tree, and a headbutt away says thank you as he drops a gift of Christmas giving to the man who kept him alive.
But perhaps not for long.
Well, he is engaged on by the side of Freshburger. Freshburger is surprisingly strong with only 2 kills and now a 3rd kill under his belt. But Stevenator wants to return the favor. He does not have the ultimate available to him. He might actually get headbutt pulverized here. He might even get stunned as well as Fuji gets a return kill. Not the shutdown, but that's 2 kills pretty rapidly given over from the side of Stevenator. Kind of unnecessarily, I would say.
Yeah. Again, really just poor positioning on the side of SKZ in basically every one of their lanes. I don't think they can get a meaningful punish here for this 3-man group mid lane.
They might be able to knock away Maverick. He was looking for... wasn't able to get a stun coming out of Daydreams. It might be just enough to get rid of the flashless Maverick. He's making him work for it, but Disgrace does pick up his 2nd kill of the game. Starting to get running on this Taliyah, but I feel like Taliyah is a little bit like Kindred in that either you are 7-0 at 20 minutes of the game, or you're just going to kind of hope that your team can carry you.
Yeah, he does have some utility with the Seismic Shove and the Slow Field, but not really super impressed with the Taliyah. I think that his Kabyle was exceptional, though. It really put a wrench in SKZ's plans last game. Would have preferred to see that, but he's doing okay.
I don't believe it was banned by the side of Schism.
No, it was not. So.
Then yes, I would have liked to have seen it.
Want to pick it.
Interesting decision making from the side of White Lotus. I'm not on their draft board, but headbutt pulverize, and wow, it's actually a lot of damage coming out of that backpack. He does try to return the kill onto Etheric. The Killer Instinct is not enough of a shield as a trade kill for the ADCs. Another kill from Stevenator onto Fuji. That's the 2nd or 3rd solo kill that he's been able to pick up. Freshburger actually did decide to teleport back to, or down to the bot lane. The Fear Beyond Death is not enough to pick up Lax in a 1-for-1 trade in the bot lane, plus Stevenator's solo kill onto Fuji. Still feeling pretty good in the mid lane for Stevenator, despite the 1 or 2 kills. Deaths, rather.
Yeah, Stevenator is performing pretty admirably. It just sucks that the rest of SKZ, I'd say, is underperforming. Really questionable decisions from Mav, not only in itemization, but just general positioning around the map. And the Darius pick in and of itself is really questionable. It is fairly strong against Urgot in the early game, but you get outscaled pretty hard. Darius really starts to fall off around mid-game when, you know, he's very easily kited, and they have a Kaisa who's you're probably never going to catch. So, really
also,
just...
Karma and a Talia and a Alistar that can just knock you away whenever they want.
Yeah, he's really never going to be able to contribute anything meaningful to the team fights here. So you kind of have to wonder what the thought process was behind that pick.
Well, I believe in the late game pentakill from the Darius. I don't know about you. I think it's possible.
No, I have no faith. None at all.
The first dragon of the game, an Ocean Drake, did go over to the side of Schism much earlier in their game. The sign of White Lotus, now that they've kind of stabilized a little bit more from the early game, is trying to look their way towards the Infernal, as unfortunately Fuji's blue buff does reset. Might delay this dragon just slightly. They're starting it, but Etheric might have been caught out. Killer Instincts away. He's going to have to return the favor onto Backpack and Laxton, but they both get out. Down tower for the top side, but Freshburger is trying to return the kill onto Maverick. The Grinder takes him out as the Infernal Drake does go to the side of Bestrin. He didn't even have to flash for it. He picks it up very well, but the team fights massive sideman shove coming out. Disgrace finally getting going on this Talia. Double kill comes out for Etheric, and Stevenator is not able to clean up the fight. Talia, or Disgrace, excuse me, 3-2. Etheric 4-2, and Fuji sitting comfortably 1-3-5 as they do lose the Infernal Drake and lose the top lane turret.
Excuse me. Yeah, very impressive that Bestern was able to get the Infernal Drake there, but I sort of just kind of forces the rest of the team to go in and die after they're done.
They must not have had any vision or anything like that, because he just kind of walked in. He didn't flash over. He didn't blast cone over. He just kind of calmly walked his way in and picked up an Infernal Drake for the side of his team. But the third outer turret for Schism does fall. White Lotus with a 3-1 advantage, a 6,000 gold lead, only 18 minutes into the game. About a 7-kill lead as well, which Freshburger is looking to potentially make it 8-kill lead as it goes on to Maverick. Maverick is 2 levels down onto Freshburger right now, who is exhausted, but he's actually walking surprisingly fast right now. There is no finished boots on the side of Freshburger, so it might be enough for Maverick to get away. There is a blast cone, and he does walk it out, but that's going to leave Fuji to flash into the wall. Freshburger's going to try and get there, but he's a little bit too late as Stevenator picks up yet another kill on to the squishy Karma in the mid lane. Freshburger's going to kind of walk them out, but I don't think he can do too much anymore.
No, and as you were saying, yeah, this is about like a 5k gold differential at only 19 minutes in. This really is not looking good for SKZ.
Oh, a big apprehend from Maverick, but it might have just brought Etheric even targets. Both teams are back out. Stevenator wants it here. He's feeling it. Both teams are really itching for a fight now. White Lotus is going to be flashed on. A huge seismic on to the side of White Lotus, but there's a lot of damage coming out of Etheric. He's not gone just yet. Stevenator trying to return, shuts down Etheric. A dunk is shutting down Daydreams as well. That's a 2 for 0, and another dunk coming out of Maverick. Late game potential coming from the side of Schism, but an unstoppable Freshburger is trying to turn things back in the favor of White Lotus. It seems so very frequently he is able to make things look better than they really are when his team is just seemingly falling apart at the seams. Freshburger is always there to keep things together. The mid lane turret does go down for Schism, with another turret in the bot lane dropping. They've closed that 5k gold cap to only 2,000 in the matter of 50 seconds.
Yeah, well, a lot of that, of course, was shutdown gold, which is no longer on the board for them. So, I mean, it looks better for SKZ right now, but in reality, it's not that much better.
They have an Infernal Drake, though, that White Lotus does not have.
They do, and well, that will help. And that's not going to keep them in the game, especially not against this 5-0 Urgot.
Yeah, that
who
is
has quite a bit to say about keeping you in the game.
Pretty scary Urgot. That's actually even scarier than he was in the previous game. When I feel like he was gifted more kills in the previous game. I'm not sure he died in the last game either. 5-0, no assists though. Who needs them when you can just get solo kills all the time? If Etheric steps up to push the side of Schism off from this tower, it's about half health. I'm not sure they can get it just yet. They might be looking towards a Baron here sooner rather than later with the map control that they have. And a Maverick about to face check 3 members. No, he does walk it out. You know, I haven't seen a single Weaver's Wall. I just noticed.
That is
Let's
true.
see if the headbutt pulverize is enough, as the Silent Shove also knocks them back. But it looks like Daydreams might have gone a little bit too far. Backpack picks up a return kill. Stevenator goes in for the final kill, but he's actually very, very low. Shut down by the likes of Etheric. Freshburger finally shut down on Backpack. A good person for the kill. Cleaning up is Maverick with a double kill, a triple kill on the Dunk, a 2 for Ace on the side of Schism. 2 very, very one-team fights in the matter of only 2 or 3 minutes. As we get later and later in the game, there is not a goal lead anymore. There's barely a kill lead. They don't even have a tower lead anymore. And Schism is clawing, grasping, and fighting their way back into this game. And I still haven't seen a Weaver's Wall.
That's true. Pretty good team fight from Schism there, though. I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, they should just thank Freshburger for kind of just going in without his team and inting. So, maybe some miscommunication on the side of White Lotus. They really just kind of left the 3 squishy carries all alone by themselves, and Darius kind of walked up and said, "Hey, I think you guys may perhaps be in the wrong neighborhood. Let me show you out."
Well, once you don't have the cow and the scary undead crab thing, there's not a lot of health on the side of White Lotus. And you're absolutely right. Maverick felt pretty comfortable to finish that team fight off. I'm still waiting for the Penta out of Maverick. That was a triple. It was very close, but it's just 2 away. As White Lotus again goes on to this Infernal.
Oh my god, they
be able to
nuked
pick it up.
this dragon.
Yeah, that looks like a... Oh my god! Stevenator picked it up. I didn't even see that. He must have just jumped over the wall. What just happened? I need an instant replay on that. I wasn't even paying attention. I was just mentioning how Etheric on the Kaisa just obliterates objectives. But that is a double Infernal now. Twice stolen, very... disrespectfully from the side of Schism, plus 2 team fights. What is happening as Bestern wants to turn this fight around? He wants to get things going, doesn't hit enough people, unfortunately, with the Nature's Grasp. Freshburger doing pretty good to block for his team.
I personally still think that going in on Freshburger there was the right call, but I can respect the decision not to. That's also fine. I don't think that was a terrible misplay from the side of SKZ. But shouts out to Stevenator for that crazy steal. Oh my god.
Yeah, that is going to need to be clipped by someone in chat. I would love to see that more. See exactly how he did get in and get out, actually. Not sure how either of those happened. White Lotus is still continuing the siege in the mid lane. They possibly are going to be able to pick it up here. Not much of a wave, but actually it is cleared out pretty rapidly by Stevenator. Stevenator might want to go in with a perfect execution. Bestern slightly caught on a position here, trying to 1v1 Etheric. Does not feel too good. He flashes away. He's still alive. He just needs to keep his body around for his team as they're continuing the push. A 5-man stack for White Lotus for some 2 or 3 minutes now in the mid lane, and they do pick up the mid lane turret eventually, almost 4 minutes after their original siege that ended up in an ace.
Yeah, I really think that Maverick should have grouped mid there. He went to like push the bot lane wave, which was...
He flashes forward for an apprehend onto 2, and a massive ultimate Kaisho Fisher. Multiple bodies not dropping just yet. A tanky Daydreams is trying to keep things away. Stevenator picks up the first kill. Maverick picks up the second kill. The third kill going over to Stevenator. Double kill for him. Flash away for Disgrace. A 0 for 2 for 3 for the side of
I think this is likely Baron for them too.
They are starting the Baron right now. Disgrace is staying here just in case he wants to potentially deal it, but he's actually backing as Fuji. There's the
Hickory. There it is.
The Weaver's Wall.
That's the first Weaver's Wall of the game.
They are going to be able to disengage, but it might be a death for them. Siphon Shove does not hit, and unfortunately, Disgrace is very, very low on mana right now, but the Baron is going to be disengaged at the very least. But that was still an extended 3 for, that's a pink ward, for 0 for the side of Schism. Fuji really wants to turn things around, but he's going to get engaged on. Wow, that's an incredibly long dash from Steven Eric. He's been hitting these shuriken flips from absolutely downtown. He's going to be able to get the rest of his team out of there very comfortably. He wants to go for this kill, and so does Backpack. Backpack is going to be able to get this kill pretty easily on to Fuji. I'm not sure about the flash. He just wanted things to he wanted to make sure things would work out. That's
this could actually be a return Baron on the side of White Lotus here if they deward and kind of bait or sneak it. I don't think it'll happen, but the potential is there.
They are clearing a little bit of the vision. And actually, speaking of, White Lotus has very good vision on the blue side of the map, the blue buff side of the map, excuse me, that needs to be cleared out by the side of Schism if they do want to start things up. While they do have double Infernal Drakes, they do not have double Mountain Drakes, nor do they have, you know, the Kaisa, for instance. So they're not going to, like, massively, you know, one-shot the Baron. As we saw, it took them quite a minute or two to get it low enough before they were actually taking a lot of damage when disgraced with the... well, God tier Weaver's Wall, after all, to save the day. So where do we go next?
Man, I really just want to see more plays around this Baron. I think that the team to get Baron wins the game here.
Yeah, a Baron for really kind of either team at the moment. A flash forward onto Ethereum. The kill him away, but Steven Air does go for the final killing blow. Another kill picked up from Backpack. This might be a 3 for 0 to the side of Schism. A double kill coming out of Steven Air. They're probably going to turn on the Baron. They might actually just go for the mid.
Yeah, I think the right play here is to inhib and then Baron. I think they actually have the time for it, especially.
I'm not sure they have time to end, is what I'm worried.
Ah, yes. I think if they make a catch here, it's possible, but we'll see. It looks like they're just going to back off and go for the Baron.
Yes, they're going to walk it up. What I was worried about is, oh God, we have to do this because, you know, we're 1 down in the series, and well, then all of a sudden you're 2 down in the series by diving the Nexus turrets. Only 20 minutes in the game. They're going to return onto this Baron. I think that's a great plan. Disgrace is the only way for White Lotus to really take this with Freshburger down, but Freshburger does
he does have TP, so this could potentially go bad. They're pinging the ward behind.
There's a TP instantly on a Freshburger. Weaver's Wall has not come out. It does come out, misses just slightly, and he doesn't take it, unfortunately. Maybe they're trying to trap him in for a team fight afterwards. Not sure exactly. As Schism actually does pull in Disgrace. He's instantly popped by the side of Maverick, and Dave's just trying to disengage for his ADC. Not much to come just yet. Don't Killer Instinct on that, Etheric. I know you're thinking about it.
Yeah, and SKZ should just reset now, go back. Head towards the dragon, try and get it before White Lotus realizes that it's something they can take for free right now.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision-making coming out. It's that this Talia is feeling uncomfortable all of a sudden. After I noticed how long it's been for a Weaver's Wall, after that second Weaver's Wall, it's starting to get kind of uncomfortable for me personally, watching Disgrace, who was so graceful in the first game, not really pulling it together in the second game here. This might also be the 4th Drake of the game going to Schism. They've had incredible Drake control for not having really any Drake area control. We'll see if they do decide to start it up. Most of the side of White Lotus is around, but they should be able to pick this up pretty rapidly.
Yeah, I do not think White Lotus wants to contest this. I think if they do, the game will be over very shortly.
It is only a cloud after all. That's going to mean for one scary Elder Drake as the entire side of Schism resets.
Yeah, interesting that they take another back here. I would have preferred to have seen everybody just sort of go bot. I guess they want to answer this top lane tower. That's fine. I still think they should be making the most out of this Baron. They're not going to have it forever. You know, they really need to take some towers here and push this advantage. They're only 5k ahead. that's a pretty sizable chunk of money, but you know, it's not going to end the game.
And I can't imagine that the Drake would be enough to back for your next item. That Baron didn't give you as a killer instinct from Etheric is onto Maverick. Maverick's trying to turn around with the kill, but he doesn't have just enough. He has to flash away. A flash forward from Daydreams is going to probably guarantee this for Etheric. Maverick does return the kill onto Etheric. Very well done. It might have actually given enough time in the mid lane for Stevener to potentially end this game. He nearly one-shots Fuji as the assassination, the perfect execution does finish him out. There's not a lot of White Lotus bodies here just yet as a Baron-empowered super minions are pouring into the base. Flash forward from Freshburger. He wants to turn things around. The Glacial Fisher might be enough to finish off the fight. Backpack is so strong. Stevenator is so strong. Stevenator picks up the first kill of the game. Backpack actually is stolen the kill by Laxon. Who cares if I'm the support? I get my own kill. And a ace from Backpack. A team fight, one after another, and a 1-to-1 series on our hands.
Yeah, very convincing win from SKZ here after a pretty shaky early game.
Yeah,
wow.
what turned around? How are they able to make that work?
Well, so there were a few really poorly chosen team fights on the side of on the side of White Lotus, and as we can see, sort of in this post-game lobby, unfortunately the people on Twitch can't see. Etheric didn't decide to pick up a stopwatch at any point in that game, or really even attempt to build towards the Zonias. So he really, you know, their main damage source really didn't have any defensive items, and made quite a few positioning errors in these fights, and was punished very heavily.
Yeah, I like the AP Kaisa build a lot, but going for the Rabadon's Death Cap as the 4th item when behind after level 7 is an extremely greedy thought process. You're right, not lack of Zonias is weird. He wouldn't have died to Maverick there in the bot lane with Zonias. Maybe that would have been enough of the damage for them to save the day at their Nexus. We're not sure. We're going to have to see after we get into Game 3. We're going to do a really quick break, and then we're going to jump into the draft. See you guys in just a moment. It's game 3, baby. We are gonna jump into the draft here pretty soon. 1-1 White Lotus versus Schism. We thought this would be a pretty intense and aggressive series. Unfortunately, game 1 did not belie it, but we are getting going. I love when series go the full distance. I'm not into that 2-0. I'm not into that 3-0. I'm not into Faker crying at the end of an absolute smashing. I like it when it goes the full distance and we get to see the mettle of our players and their teammates. I'm still kind of reeling from what happened last time. I did watch the instant replay of the Stevenator Dragon kill. Basically, he just shuriken flipped into the pit and then shuriken flipped out of it.
What an absolute monster.
It was pretty cool. I wasn't paying attention to whether there was a smite up or not for the side of Disgrace. They might have just been expecting it whatsoever. But does anything need to change here with the bans? Does this Urgot need to get banned? As while it did lose last game, it was very, very scary for most of the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if they don't ban Urgot here, I just don't know. I just don't know. That being said, you know, I kind of want to see some playing around the Sakali too. Like that, perhaps?
Well, yeah, a lot of given from White Lotus. They do, respect is what I mean to say. They do not want to see Stevenator pop off on that Kali once again. Zaya's been a big ban for the side of Schism, and Shen's been a big ban for the side of White Lotus. Kind of interesting from either side. The final of the first 3 bans is Zillion out of Schism. Interesting option. Haven't seen it too much, although just a few months ago in the upper echelons of pro play, we saw a lot of Zillion Kindred, and once again, Urgot has been left open. However, by Freshburger, we'll see if he does pick it up for the 3rd game in a row. He does indeed, and actually a Darius counter pick. I mean, it seemingly worked out outside of a couple, mistakes by Maverick. It worked pretty well.
Yeah, if Maverick plays the lane phase a little better, potential to not have the Urgot be such a big threat. But Maverick made quite a few missteps in lane and really didn't pick it back up until those mid-game team fights. I think I just would prefer to see Sion into it, honestly. If you play the matchup right, Sion will never die to Urgot. Even though he's ranged and he can harass you, you just play back. You don't let yourself get engaged on. And Maverick plays a pretty good Sion. I think that he's just opening himself up to a little too many vulnerabilities for this Darius pick. We are going to see the Camille versus Talia matchup, which is interesting. I don't know if Bestron even plays Talia. But we do know that Disgrace played a convincing Camille in the first game, so...
Well, I definitely like the chutzpah coming out of Bestron saying, I can do it better than you.
Well, I mean, again, no hate for Disgrace here. I'm pretty sure all you have to do it better is use your ult more than once.
He used it twice.
So, okay, twice.
He definitely used it twice. I was counting.
So if you get like a 3rd ult down, we'll be talking. We'll be in business,
Well, Kaisa is banned out from the side of Schism. Also, I think a bit of a respect ban there. Although Aetheric wasn't feeling too pop offy last game, he still played the champion very, very well, and is just a generally scary and strong champion. Do need to mention that both Braum and Thresh were picked up from each side respectively. I do like to see Daydreams on Thresh. That means Laxon gets Braum twice in a row. Clearly a comfort pick for him. As a Tristana from Backpack. Interesting. Do see one every once in a while. Emphasis on the once in a while, as Draven is picked up by Aetheric. I love to see Draven. And the final pick is going to be the mid lane from the side of White Lotus. Again, a blind pick coming out of Fuji. Last time he was blind, he picked out the Orianna. It's banned this game. Perhaps a Cassiopeia blind would be kind of fun for me. We're going to have to see what he decides to go with. I'm just excited about the League Draven. LeBlanc, okay, that's what I wanted at the beginning of the first game. And
Yeah, unfortunately, we are going to see Steven Ader's Irelia taken from him. I would have loved to have seen that in this game. You know, we would have kind of seen the Irelia versus Camille matchup. You know, not necessarily in the same lane, but I think it's pretty interesting. They're like two, you know, very hyper-scaling, hyper-aggressive, dive your entire backline melee carries. Zed.
Ooh.
Interesting.
This is going to be a spicy mid lane, boys. I am excited, but I'm sorry. I'm a bot lane player. I love me some Draven. That's where my heart of heart goes out. What, however, do you think, or whom, however, do you think got the better of this draft sequence?
I think White Lotus. Despite the fact that I really don't like Draven at all, I think I would argue he's actually quite bad against that entire enemy team. I think that the LeBlanc is obviously a very strong champion right now. Camille Jungle is obviously still very strong, and they have Urgot, who is one of the, I would say, top 3 top laners in the game right now. So I think they got the better of the draft. I think SKZ can still win this, but I'm going to give this one to White Lotus. No time. I couldn't even guess a time if I wanted to. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have to see how things go. I guess what I do have a question. Time. So, who is getting first blood on whom at what time of the game?
Oh man, this is a good one. I like these more than the guess how long the game's gonna go. I'm gonna say first blood on Maverick at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. By a Camille gank.
By Disgrace. So Disgrace is gonna, you know, flash on to Darius in what you said, 3 minutes 30 seconds.
3 minutes 30 seconds. Yeah, he's gonna channel his Ajat jungle and get that sick flash E into the kill.
So that's like what, level 3 basically?
Yeah, around level 3.
All right, we're gonna have to see it. I'm gonna hold you to it. There is a prize at the end. You get it right. I make sure that all of my color casters go through the same test, if you will. But I think you had kind of leaned towards a win for White Lotus here at 2-1.
Yeah, despite my initial prediction of an SKZ win, which was really me just throwing out a wild guess, I think White Lotus, you know, if they kind of, you know, have a little bit more trigger discipline this game, and don't immediately jump at the sign of blood in the water, I think that they can calm down and win this game fairly handedly. Well,
there was definitely blood in the water of 2, but the Sharks of Schism decided to cash in on their 1-1 this game, or this series, excuse me. It's down to the wire between these two very high-ranking teams very late in the season. We're going to see how it pans out after a quick word from our sponsors.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Let's get it, baby. It's game 3 of Schism versus White Lotus. White dangerously close from dropping their second series of the season. They are at a 90-some-odd% win rate. They might drop here just a little bit as White Lotus is looking for a 5-man invade. They make it into the brush of the river. Backpack is feeling pretty comfortable right now. He's just going to walk it out. Flash forward from Daydreams, not enough, but Backpack is going to have to force his flash. I think that was a good trade early in the game from Daydreams.
It's kind of a wash for me. I think that Thresh Flash is essential in lane, especially if you're going to pressure kills. So not having that is going to hurt their kill potential quite a bit, I think. It's kind of interesting that we've seen White Lotus do this kind of cheap 5-man invade thing each game.
He hits the hook in mid lane. They've done it every single game, and really only got something out of it from game 1.
Yeah, I typically prefer just to see a regular 5-point, especially if you know, like they got found out game 1. You know, got Maverick, you killed him, first blood, easy. But really doesn't do anything besides that the other games, because Schism was prepared. They, you know, they saw they had the 5-point setup. They do trade flashes, but that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know, just kind of a wash for me, I think.
Sure. We'll see how it ends up. Dash forward from Fuji. He likes to go in and out on this LeBlanc. I knew LeBlanc before. I just wasn't remembering. You know, my mind these days, it does slip. I've gotten older in this lifetime. It actually does hit the electrocute there in the mid lane. That's a pretty big amount of damage onto Steven Nader, who does have the non-refillable potions, if you will, in the mid lane.
Yeah, we are going to see Fuji abuse this Time Warp Tonic rune a little bit before Riot finally decides to put the nerf pad to it.
I absolutely love it. It is so abusable. It is a very, very fun thing to play with. Speaking of abuse, though, Etheric is really, really pushing hard under the tower of Backpack. A little bit of CS lead just for the time being, but as things go more and more under the turret, it might accrue further. But Disgrace is looking at Bestrin. We'll see what happens between the two. Nice flay, actually. It's going to kind of force back the side of Backpack and Lax. And a lot of trading from both teams kind of back and forth, but no one really just yet pulling the trigger. Everyone's just kind of testing the waters. It is game 3 after all. You don't want to make too many level 3 mistakes. By the way, you have 25 seconds left on your first blood timer as Disgrace is looking kind of around that side of the map. He's going for Gromp.
Yeah, it looks like he's a little too slow.
Oh, there's a flash forward from Fuji. A Ignite and an electrocute block. You got the right time, just on the wrong side of the map.
All right, you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. Just, you know, besides the fact that I was wrong, you know.
Well, I think Fuji would take it as well, as he does get that injection of gold, plus already denying more and more CS. A hook on to Laxon and a flay backwards, going to force Laxon away. And that's going to make Etheric even more comfortable in this lane that he's already bowling pretty heavily into. I mean, it's a 10 CS lead, only just moments into the game. Another death sentence or 2, and it could be another kill as well as a serious gold league as well. There's a death sentence, but a stand behind me is enough to keep Backpack alive for the time being.
Yeah, I don't actually think that Laxon needed to shield those autos there, because Backpack was safely under tower, and Draven definitely would have taken aggro if...
Once again, the death sentence onto Laxon. He flies away, jump, rocket boost in is Backpack. Might have been a bit of a Cody Sun. He does not die, though. Flash forward from Steven Nader as Etheric tries to finish off the kill onto Backpack, but it turns out to be a 2-for-0 in the bot lane as Bestrin trying to do his best Talia impersonation. So far, not getting too much yet. Is that the Ambition skin? I'm not exactly certain, as Maverick does pull out a kill. I guess the Ambition skin would probably be the J4, would it not?
Yes.
As Maverick finishes off his counterpart in the top lane. Several kills going back and forth, but most of them are going onto the side of Schism early in the game.
Okay, so yeah, a lot happened there. So shouts out to Laxon for potentially the best bait I've seen in GXPC so far, Kappa. totally lures them in with the 100% calculated losing all of his HP. And then shouts out to Backpack also for the wonderful Tristana play. And then Etheric just kind of flashes under their tower and dies.
Well, the final flash was a little bit weird, but Backpack definitely did know his damage numbers. He was comfortable going in there, and I thought it was a little scary for me as he rocket jumps in once again onto Daydreams, who does have his flash up, but he's going to go ahead and not use it. Good decision out of Daydreams. No need to use the flash when you're probably not going to get it out. And another kill onto Backpack, 2-0-1. Only a few moments into the game. Disgrace should be able to smite that away. Oh, he doesn't actually have smite up. And actually, it looks like Bestron does pick it up. Unfortunately, Disgrace had like a second left on his smite and will just gift over the bot side Rift. However, Bestron definitely already looking more comfortable on the Talia than his counterpart. It's a 0-0-2, only a few seconds into the game. Let's see where those Weaver's Walls end up, though.
Really, actually, very good play from SKZ so far. I'm impressed. Like, legitimately very impressed. They played the early game spectacularly. Bestron had a very good gank on a flashless bot lane there. So I want to see more repeat ganks in this bot lane. I just want to see Etheric and Daydreams get punished for this really sort of obnoxious, over-aggressive play that they don't really have any business doing right now.
Bestron is close, but they're pinging there's vision for the side of White Lotus. He's still looking for, does not ultimate, and actually they're really trying to chase down Etheric here. They might be able to stun them up. Ooh, a nice lantern from Daydreams to keep him alive. And you're right, they have been continually punishing this bot lane. Draven is very much a champion that either gets him, you get him going, or he is going nowhere. So far they're holding him down very successfully and getting their late game scaling Tristana off to the races. That being said, I think, I'm not sure if you had mentioned this, but Disgrace really did not do kind of the opposite in punishing this flashless Tristana, who does have a backup. Dessence is going to hit onto Laxon, but they're a level down almost collectively, and the bot lane should be some ultimates here pretty soon there as well.
Yeah, I think part of the reason that Disgrace can't really punish Backpack is that, you know, obviously he's Tristana, he has the escape, he has the Braum to peel for him, and they typically have been playing back. This is actually the first time that they've been pushed up in lane, so there hasn't actually been an opportunity to punish them. So I think that really SKZ just have this whole thing kind of set up for them.
The Shadow Swap and the Death Mark for Steven is not enough to get the kill. Flash forward from Daydreams. He wants to turn things around. Lots of flashes actually across the map. No kills just yet. There's a flash from Disgrace, a flash from Etheric, and a flash from Fuji. Once again with the Flash Distortion Ignite on to Steven to get the solo kill. A flay in from Daydreams. He wants to get this cash out onto Etheric, but not just yet. The shutdown does go down. A lot of gold injected into the Draven. He might get a double kill here. He doesn't have enough mana for the ultimate either. Oh, he gets knocked up and he gets killed by Laxon, just barely. And but he does get a return thing. A double kill for Etheric does end up a lot better in favor of Etheric. A lot of gold in his pocket all of a sudden. I think about 1,000 or so for the Draven. But all of a sudden, Bestron is here, and he's going to turn things around. A heal actually used by Etheric. Very well done. That was the Weaver's Wall we were looking for, and a shutdown. Ooh, that was an incredible flash coming out of Bestron. He's looking killer on this Talia right now. That was the Weaver's Wall, by the way.
Yeah, it was. Pretty good play by Bestron. He fumbled a bit of his skills there, and actually almost died for no reason. But he gets out with the shutdown gold, if I believe correctly.
Should be, yeah. 2 kills.
Yeah, and sort of kind of a wash, even gold lead. The Draven pass is putting in quite a bit of work there. But, yeah, unfortunately, Backpack just kind of walked directly into Etheric and died there under his own tower. So, a little bit of yikes.
Sure how Etheric got back to lane that rapidly after dying.
Yeah, fair point.
That's really interesting. He doesn't have TP. He got there so fast and then died instantly. That's odd. I just didn't even notice him walk back at all. But Etheric now 2-2 still feels okay on the Draven. No, he didn't die. How did he not die to Laxon? That
no, Bestron picked up.
Yeah, I thought Laxon had killed him before that. Well, at any rate, That's okay. I missed what happened. I saw Laxton go down. I thought it was a trade kill. Obviously not. I thought the Glacial Fisher was
unfortunately, while Backpack previously had the advantage in this lane, he's sort of on the back foot now. And I think he's kind of going to struggle to find his footing again in this lane. Oh, we are going to see something from...
Yeah, it looks like Stevenator wants to turn things around. A stun onto Daydream. Not enough damage just yet. Might be a return kill for a theory of kills, and a TP actually coming in from Freshburger. He's always the first to TP. A kill will go down on Laxton. Double kill for Aetheric, really starting to get off the races here. A heal comes out as well, and not enough damage just yet. Triple kill, actually, all of a sudden from Aetheric. He just went from zero to hero. All of a sudden, in just a few seconds, he's almost 2,000 gold ahead of Backpack, who had looked so comfortable in the game before him. And Fuji dies to Bestrin, who gets a shutdown as well. Probably going to be the first turret going over the side of White Lotus. They are going to give all of the gold, to the side of Aetheric. Will end up with a almost 3,000 gold lead on his opponent.
Yeah, they're also going to cash in on this Infernal Drake too. I want to talk a little bit about Stevenator's Zed play. It's actually been sort of abysmal so far. The LeBlanc matchup is not really one that you should... Oh, man.
That was an amazing death note. Sorry, Zed.
Yeah, it really isn't a matchup. The LeBlanc matchup is not really one that you should lose as Zed. And we saw him get really abused for missing shuriken combos. And he really hasn't done anything. It's a very, very distinct turnaround from the Akali showing that he had. We do know that Stevenator plays quite a few different champions, one of them actually being Zilean, which they banned for some reason. I would have much preferred to have seen them not ban the Zilean and then just pick it. I'm not actually sure why they didn't do that, but now they're kind of stuck with this sort of, pretty behind assassin on their team that's not really going to do anything for the next little while. Meanwhile, Draven is huge.
Yeah, and as I kind of mentioned just moments ago, Draven's one of those... He's very feast or famine, and he is 100% feasting right now, 6-2. That's very much not the sneaky Draven that we were watching in Worlds just a few short hours ago. While that was a win, it was a, 0-0 Draven until about this time in the game. And this Draven, on the other hand, is probably going to have 1 or 2 autos, and Braum is going to have to back almost instantly. Mid lane tower sieged up here by the side of White Lotus. I don't think they can get it just yet, as 5 of Schism are trying to deal with the bot lane duo of White Lotus right now. That being said, not a lot of objectives have gone just yet. Aside of the top bot lane tower, no Rift Herald. They did get the Infernal, That is true. However, outside of a gold lead on their ADC, I'd like to see a little bit more map pressure as a death note. Oh, that did hit him. Barely clips him as the the whirling death gives Aetheric another double kill. And it looks like Stevenator wants to turn things around. I'm not sure he can do it. Bestrin does get the kill onto Daydreams, trading in the top lane as well. I think Bestrin is not going to be able to clean things out, so we're going to have to switch our attention to Maverick, who's trying to finish off Freshburger. Ult's a little bit too early, and the fear beyond death is enough for Freshburger to win the 1v1.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was with the help of the Ignite from the Unsealed Spellbook, but Maverick did ult a little too early, dropped his stacks, and then lost quite a bit of damage on his ultimate, so pretty unfortunate for him. It's very unfortunate. SKZ played the early game fantastically, but are really just dropping it in this mid-game transition. And, this Draven, Urgot, LeBlanc sort of combo here is not something you want to be behind against in the mid game versus White Lotus.
Speaking of being behind, just a few auto attacks almost killed Bestrin and Stevenator. Definitely feeling the pain of the Draven right now. You're absolutely right. These champions are so scary, and all of a sudden, actually, the bot lane tower is nearly dead. The mid lane does go to the Eagle Rift Herald here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's definitely what I want to see from White Lotus. That is 100% the right call to make in this situation. We are going to see Bestrin kind of rotate around here for something, but I think he's probably just going to back off.
is he doesn't have the ultimate or anything. He's probably just trying to keep Backpack kind of support him at this time, because Fuji can definitely one-shot him, or really either of them at this moment. The rocket jump from Backpack, he wants to get rid of Fuji. That is going to be a pretty free Rift Herald for the side of White Lotus. In return, the death does hit, and it's going to be another kill for Etheric, pretty easily gifted over another shutdown. These death sentences have been clicking off on for the side of Daydreams, as probably the top lane turret is going to go down as well.
Yeah, really just an unfortunate series of events. Mav getting punished for his poor positioning again. It's been kind of a constant throughout the series. So, you know, maybe this is something to take and work on moving forward. Maybe not. I don't know. I could just be, you know, talking without any authority here, but...
Can you really blame him for the League of Draven, as the Fear Beyond Death was predicted by Freshburger? He's looking onto Bestrin. Bestrin forced to flash away as Disgrace, trying to say, well, I don't care if your Talia is better than mine. My Camila is still better than yours. He's actually 0-0-1, though. Huh. That's very surprising. I didn't even realize that.
Pretty predictable play from Freshburger there. A Backpack is sort of just a sack of gold right now until he can get... I mean, you know, if he even ends up getting any more items, we'll see.
I like sacks of gold. I'm okay with that. I will take it, thankfully. Speaking of sacks of gold, Etheric has a ton of it. But Daydreams is babysitting him the best he can. The death sentence returned onto Bestrin. An incredible amount of damage from the whirling death. Etheric picks up a single kill. He picks up a double kill. He's looking for the triple kill. Maybe onto Maverick, who's caught out of position here a little bit. He is going to get rooted up. We'll see if they gift in the kill. Triple kill is gifted over to the side of Etheric. Are they going to keep pushing? Can they get the potential of the Penta? I'm not sure they have enough time. And Fuji just gifted that kill to him. He didn't even care.
Yeah, once they saw the Lantern come out, that should have been the end of the engage right there. It sucks that they had burned 2 flashes for it, but they kind of had to do something. But I think, I mean, again, don't like calling games over, but this is not looking super
almost
winnable.
A 10,000 gold lead 18 minutes into the game, which is probably damn near our largest lead at 20 minutes, even though we're not even at 20 minutes just yet for the entire season. Flash forward from Fuji. He nearly one-shots Backpack, but Backpack actually does make it away. Bestrin returns the kill on to Fuji. A little bit hypey there from Fuji. He's not really as fed as he really probably thinks he is, while the rest of his team is getting a ton of kills. He only actually has 2 kills. Can't one-shot Backpack just yet, but you know who possibly can one-shot basically this entire team?
Definitely Etheric.
Definitely Etheric. He's 12-2. He could have 3 items completed right now. He just doesn't care to back. He cares to win this game. He has 12,000 gold at 18 minutes in the game. And a flash forward from the death sentence does hit, but actually a big seismic shove is going to return several kills, including Steven Ader getting a shutdown on to Etheric, and another triple kill actually coming out from Steven Ader. Very well done.
And that is a clean ace, as Fuji did die earlier. Wow.
Sorry, I had messed up my overlay a little bit. Sorry about that. All good. Yeah, that's another team fight one. That's a 4-0, it seems like, for the side of Schism. They've really been able to pull out these kind of mid to late game team fights, really kind of out of thin air. It's hard to tell whether it's Schism's team fighting or White Lotus's lack thereof. The mid lane turret is going to be destroyed, but there is no Baron right now. Nothing really else they can do.
No,
they
and,
get a good injection
and
of gold.
SKZ needs to back now. They need to get back and in a position to contest this Baron if White Lotus decides to rush it. Otherwise, the game is going to be over 100%.
And the Baron is spawning instantly.
No,
Bestrin is kind of looking scary right now. Daydreams at least doesn't have his full flash, so we can't just flash Death Sentence Bestrin for...
Yeah, they are just going to go on it immediately as Backpack is showing bot lane.
And Bestern is hanging around. Fuji's going to try and be the body blocker, the linebacker, if you will, for his team. Bestern is close. He does have his ultimate up and ready to go. We'll see if the Weaver's Wall does come out. 2,000 health left. He gets onto it. He goes too far. Unfortunately, it's picked up by Etheric. A little bit of an early might from Disgrace, but Bestern does not jump off in time. Maybe he just thought it was a little given, basically, to the side of White Lotus. Doesn't want to die in the process. But now a Baron up 20-minute game. White Lotus is staring down the mid lane barrel of Schism. What can they do with this?
This is honestly disastrous. The only way they can get out of this is if White Lotus just decides to walk under their towers again and just die. So, hope is slim for SKZ here.
Well, we did see that happen.
We did, but I don't expect it to happen again. I think that Etheric, my apologies, might simply be so fed that it doesn't matter.
He is 12 kills into the game out of 16. So he might just be fed enough that the mid lane siege is beginning. Nothing just yet. Still working on things. Still getting things going. But the cannon minion will be chipping away as a large minion wave is collecting in the top side for the side of White Lotus. A decent one in the bottom side as well. They've had much better wave control this game than really the entirety of the series, I do feel like. It's going to be a little bit comfortable with this Baron buff. That's a 5-man stack of Schism. They know that this very well could be the final team fight. They're probably going to have to give up this tower before we can get there.
Yeah, they have to defend in their inhib towers. There's no other option.
Well, let's see if they can hold down the 3. Fuji wants to go in. Starting in to starting out. He doesn't want to start it up just yet. He's trying to see what poke damage can happen. As a death sentence does hit on Laxton, it might be the death of Schism's series. Etheric walks forward, but he doesn't get enough just yet. He does get the double kill with the ultimate. Steven Ayers caught out to dry. A triple kill coming out for Etheric. It's not going to be the penta as Freshburger flashed forward for his own kill, but this will definitely be the win for the side of White Lotus. Maverick is going to try to do the unthinkable, the impossible, but a kill given over. The first kill of the game for Daydreams as a 2-for-1 for White Lotus at incredibly hard-fought series. Schism very much showed up to the game, but White Lotus takes it in the end.
Yeah, unfortunate. I definitely think this would have been a better, a different series if Carmody had been here and Steve Ader had been in his actual role the first game. But, you know, that's just kind of the way the dice fall sometimes. Most of the teams in the league have been on the bad side of a sub situation. So, you know, it happens.
It does happen indeed. But you know what else happens? An interview with one of the players of the winning team, which just happens to be the MVP of the game. So, Cinco Gazer, who is our MVP from White Lotus?
Well, I think it would be pretty easy to say Ethereal because of the Draven performance. Part of me wants to give it to the unsung hero, the top laner, Freshburger, for his quite good performance on Urgot all 3 games.
If you can argue it, you can take it.
But I think I'm just gonna have to go with the easy version and say Ethereal.
All right, let's see if we can get the star ADC himself for a quick little interview to close out the night. Hopefully we can grab him here in just a second or two. How is it going? Do you still go by Ethereal? Is it Etheric now, good sir?
Oh, you can go by Etheric or Ethereal. Doesn't matter.
Well, congratulations, Etheric, on yet another series win for you and the squad of White Lotus. How are you feeling tonight? It was a bit of a hard-fought one, but you made it through.
Yeah, it feels good to win, especially since we haven't fought them yet, so it was nice to experience that fight against Schism. It's kind of unfortunate they didn't have their ADC though, so I can't really shit talk.
I mean, you definitely can, but I understand the reservation. Singazer, do you have a couple questions or comments for our ADC?
Are there any other teams you're looking forward to playing going into playoffs now that you've basically locked the #1 seed?
Oh, actually, your team. It'd be fun to fight you guys.
And
You
your team
guys would
being
be pretty good challengers.
I
was talking.
the name.
You asked me the question. Yeah, my bad. It'd be nice to fight against PVC and see how it is, because we haven't fought in a while.
Awesome. What about them in particular, other than the just lack of recency?
Well, they're second place, so it would be a good challenge for sure. I think their laners are really strong, so.
I have no comment. I'll reserve thoughts for the match, but I do have a couple more questions, mostly about Disgrace and how it was playing without Kairos. So we've heard a little bit of talk, kind of the meme White Lotus without shot caller lol. So how was it playing with the sub jungler?
It was really interesting to have our roles swapped around, because usually, yeah, he does all the shot calling, so some of us had to step up and do the shot calling ourselves. He usually controls most of the early game, and then we like kind of swap it around mid game. So our vision was like lacking a little bit because we were missing him, but overall, I think we played fine early game.
I would definitely have to agree with you.
Awesome.
That is pretty much all from me, Hickory. If you have anything
don't
else
have
to
a
ask.
closing thought. Okay, that awesome. Sounds good to me. Well, in that case, Aetheric, it's basically the end of the season. Do you have anything to say about the previous weeks? Just like what's it been like to be a player in your own right on White Lotus and anything like that?
Not really. I've found it fun to be on White Lotus. My story being on White Lotus is kind of funny because I was looking for a Clash team and then they just ended up picking me up.
A small world, right?
Yeah. That's wow. In that case, Aetheric, I appreciate your time and I appreciate your great Draven plays. Do you have any final words for us? Any shout outs that you'd like to mention to the stream?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my support because he was like shot calling a lot and he was like trying really hard those games to make plays, and he did make those plays. His peel was really good, and I want to shot call our jungler that game, which was Jordan, because he pulled through even though it was really rough during the second game and first game. So yeah,
I love it. A humble man shouting out his supporting crew, even though he dominated in game 3. Thank you very much, Aetheric, for joining us. Hope to see you again here pretty soon. Cinco Gazer, do you have any closing thoughts for us?
I think that people should definitely tune in tomorrow for the SKZ versus ROK game. That's what I think.
Excellent. I love the plug. Thank you all very much for tuning in. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been great. I hope to see you all again soon. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. And as Synchrocaster just mentioned, let's see if Schism can pull it back for the next game of the week. Thank you all very much and have a good evening.